Hi, I'm Shawnamarie at Shawnamarie Stitches, and if you're new to my channel, this is a channel that's mostly about cross stitch or embroidery and wool applique, as those are the things that I like to do, my inside projects. And so yeah, join me in a couple minutes and I'll tell you what I've been up to. Hi Stitchy friends, I am back after a much longer time than I thought it was going to be. We had computer problems, and then when I stitched not stitched, wouldn't that be nice if you could stitch a video? When I did my video, when I went back to upload it, I found that you could actually hear my neighbor's radio across the street, which was just like boom, 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 boom. So instead of having that go on for the entire time that I was talking, even though I had the windows closed, it was just very loud that day. I thought that I would just retape it. And so here I am again, and you're getting me with this is my hat here. I braid my hair up on top of my head when I'm out in the yard so that it doesn't get as dirty as the rest of me. And yeah, so I was out pruning my roses, and I thought that before the daylight ends and the sun sets, because it's getting pretty low in the west, that I better run in and take care of this, and that way I can get all my projects put back and my table cleared off, and yeah, move on to new things. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe below and give me a like, and I love comments, so if you have a comment, please give me a comment, because I like to talk with people. And so let's just get started. Some of my WIPS, nope, I'm not going to do WIPS first. I'm going to do, sorry, it's way over here like buried, when I did not grab the pattern. Oh well, we'll just have to do without it today. I worked on Stone Street samplers, and I did the MLK sampler, and I was working on it previously, which was in the video that you're not going to see, so you just get to see it fully framed. And so here it is. The time is always right to do what is right. It was a pretty quick stitch. Yeah, it was a pretty quick stitch. There's only 4 colors in it, and I changed up the red, which I tend to do. If a red seems too orangey to me, I will change it up, and so I darkened the red to a bluer red, and I think that's the only thing that I changed. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just that. Anyway, so I got it all finished, and I laced it up. And I still have to like finish covering the back and put my little tag on it that I'm going to put on it, and then I can hang it on the wall. So I'm very excited. So that was one finish for me. And then the other finish for me was I finished, pick it up the right direction, I finished my Sweetheart Hill. I did not pick up any of my patterns. Yeah, if they weren't laying here on the table with everything else, I must have filed them away. I didn't even think about it. Anyway, this is Sweetheart Hill. I finished my Sweetheart Hill. Sorry for the reflections. Like I said, the sun's at a funky angle. So here it is. This is Sweetheart Hill by Plum Street Samplers. And this is stitched mostly in the called for colors. I didn't have the red at the time, whatever the red called for red was, so I did DMC here. I changed out the color of the window frames and the roof because I didn't have that color. And this white that was supposed to be down here was white. And it was so, you just couldn't see it on the fabric. So this is stitched on 32 count Winter Moon. Nope, I lied. 36 count Winter Moon, which I love the color. I really love the color. And yeah, so I had to switch this out. So I switched this out to Clover, which is like my new favorite over-dyed floss, because I love it with just that touch of pink in it. Anyway, that went really well, and I finally got it done, and I was very excited because it seemed like it was a lot of grass and a lot of house, and it didn't get done by Valentine's Day, which is what I had hoped for, but it did get done. It did get done. Yay! and I get to keep it. You know, the things I stitched at the end of the year last year were things that were going to other people, and so I did not get to, ooh, it slid down on the floor. And so I did not get to keep those. And I have one of the things I stitched for me, the 100 ways, after I stitched it for my daughter-in-law, that I still am looking for an appropriate frame for. But those were my 2 finishes, and I was extremely excited to have a finish. And so I'm, as with all my other big projects that I seem to have going on, I'm going to try to keep having a little project to stitch on, so that I can feel like I'm making some progress on something. Because when you hop around from project to project, it doesn't seem like you make a lot of progress. Oh, here I've been looking for an hour for this silly thing. Who knew? I put it away. So one of the things that I worked on this last month was my glitter village, which I'm stitching in all the called for colors on the recommended fabric. And I think the last time you guys saw it, and it's very wrinkly because it was folded up in my little bag. So that's where it was the last time you saw it. Was I had stitched this little house, and I still have to go back and do his little chimney. I completely forgot about that. But I finished my next house. So there it is. Isn't that adorable? I love it. I love little houses. As you know, if you've been hanging around, I love little houses, and I love sparkly. And so even though I don't really care to stitch on this fabric, I love it because look how sparkly it is. Super, super sparkly. So between the little house and the overdyes and the sparkle, this just tickles my fancy. And so I got that taken care of this month. Yay! Which meant I got to fill in a square on my WIPS board. And then in March, I was hoping to get done my next little house, but my brain hopped all over the place, and I did not have any rhyme or reason to my stitching. It was just kind of whatever I felt like stitching. I just had startitis, I guess you would call it. Because I was going to work on this house, which is the little pink house. And so I'm going to be working on that one in April and hoping to get it done. So that's one of my big plan. I always have big plans. Better to have big plans than no plans, right? So there is that, one of my works in progress. The other thing that I've been working on this month, and I try to get them done, this is a project that I leave downstairs next to my rocking chair so that when my husband's watching TV that I can work on it. And it's the oh yeah, it's right behind me. It's the Perpetual Calendar, the Fun in the Sun calendar by Sam Sarah. And I stitched that one and that one back in February. And I finished this one, I think, in February. Anyway, I was hoping to get Wednesday and March done before March rolled around, and this is all the farther I got. You can tell that spring is coming. I'm looking for something to put behind it since it's so sheer. Anyway, you can tell that spring is coming and that I'm spending more time outside and less time inside stitching and getting projects done. So I hope to have Wednesday done, and maybe I'll skip March and just shoot for getting April done. Or maybe I'll do May. That would be nice to actually use the month during the month that I have it. So that's one of the things that I've been working on, and that's been fun. I do love those stitches. It's stitched on 14 count paper. I don't know if I've ever said that before. I'm sure I have. 14 count paper, super easy stitch. Like as far as difficulty level, it's not very hard. They're 74 by 32 wide, 36 wide. Anyway, yeah, I really like stitching on the paper, more than I thought I was going to. I was really concerned about it when I started, but I actually really enjoy it. And so that's been one of the things that I've been working on. Sorry, I've got like projects sitting everywhere here. I worked on my unicorn tapestry by Tiny Modernista. And it's all pretty much in the called for colors except for the oranges. I changed all these oranges. I went like 2 shades darker and pulled it into the red family. And so it's being stitched on a 28 count Riviera. And let's see, where's my little thing that I had to put behind it there. And so last time you saw it, it was, I had worked on this, And so I have filled in the rest of the unicorn, and I've done some of the scroll work around the sides. I think that's it. I think I had these flowers up here last time. Anyway, so that's my progress on that. It's been, I do like it. I would like to get it done. It's a very spring summery, and I would like to see it up. And so that's one of the things that I've been working on. I'll leave my scroll bars over there so I don't have them fall down. I've also been working on my stocking that I would like to have done this year. It's from the Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine, and after years and years of watching my girlfriend stitch these for her family, I decided that I want this sewing room stocking. But I didn't want to have these pictures in it and this quilt behind the sewing machine. Even though I quilt, I really wanted to see a window behind the sewing machine because I have a window by my sewing machine. But I do have this cute little featherweight. Oh, I do have this cute little featherweight, which sits over there when I'm stitching. And so I think, actually I know. And so this past time, I've finished all of my top. I had this little end to do and this little end over here. And I finished all the back stitching in here and couched the green thread, put in my pins and needles, which I would really like to put beads for the heads of my pins, but I don't have the right size beads. They're too big, and I'm not buying any more beads because we have a ton of beads at my house. And then I built out a garland because I took out the nativity. What else did I do? Oh, and I started my sewing machine, and I'm carrying my window down to the top of the sewing machine. So that's where I'm at. And I figured out that if I don't start doing some serious stitching on this every single day, that it's not going to be done by Christmas. It's not even going to be done by Thanksgiving, which is when I would really like to have it done, is have it done by Thanksgiving so that I can then, you know, make it into a cute little stocking. So that's my progress there. Let's scooch that off to the side. Actually, let's take this little stack and completely move it off my table. Let's see, what else have I been working on? Oh, I know. Sorry, I'm reaching like way across the table because it's sitting far, far over there. One of my WIPS squares was I got to do a new start. And when something comes up on my board, my goal is to work on it for 10 hours a week, like for 1 week during the month. I have a rotation that I try to stick to and doesn't always work out very well. Sorry for all the crinkling. But I got this Mayflower 400 pattern from River Drift House. And I just had Thanksgiving on the brain. But I loved it. I just loved it. I love the ship. I love the little people in the boat. Lots of little houses. I really like it. And it's on a piece of 14 count white, which I did not have. And I did not want to see it quite that large. And so I put it on a piece of 18 count fog. And so my progress, or not my progress. And so when I was stitching, I had to change out one of the grays because one of the grays was literally the same color as my fabric. And so there, sorry, just trying to make sure that it's there. There is my progress on my Mayflower 400. And so I have the rest of the year, kind of like my stocking, to work on that and have it done by Thanksgiving. And it's fun. I like the colors. I think it was one of these grays that I changed out. I darkened up because you couldn't see it. So that's been kind of fun, and it's not your typical like autumn colors. You know, it's like blues and grays and lavenders. It's not really showing up true, is it? Not so much. Anyway, it's been a very fun little stitch. And it's been a while since I'd stitched on Ada, and so it's funny that right now I have 2 projects on Ada. So that's been kind of fun. A nice change. So that's one of the things that I've been working on. Then I also have, see, I had startitis. I just had lots of weird little things that I was working on. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. And I don't know how, since I've been working on it fairly regularly. I convinced my girlfriend, or I asked my girlfriend if she wanted to stitch on this berry bowl sampler with me, and she agreed. And then we started stitching on it, and it was so funny because she didn't have all the, we decided to do it in the DMCs, and we chose earthen, which I don't have a piece of earthen. Oh, maybe, yes I do. Sorry. So we chose a piece of earthen and a piece of shale because that was the two Adas that I had. And so right now I'm stitching on the shale and she's stitching on the earthen, and this is how far we got, or I got. Sorry, I'm taking my needles out because apparently I have a couple in there. And so there is my berry bowl. Isn't that fun? And what's funny is the color that was called for these berries right here, in the overdyed, I don't know what it is in the overdyed. I can't even remember the color right now. But the number that they had listed for the DMC is this funky brown color. I mean, it's not a bad brown color. It's just not a berry color. And so after we got these stitched in, and she has my girlfriend, Carrie, has way more of this done because, and hers was so funny because she had stitched this bowl in because she had these colors, and then she stitched these berries in part of this basket, and then she like stitched these berries and the berries here, or the leaves here, and then some berries down here because those were the colors that she had. She was very brave because I don't think I count that well. I'd probably end up picking it out and doing it several times over. But as we went along, it's just like, because she got down to these here, let's see, here it is. Sorry, I'm looking right there. She got down to these berries, this bowl, and stitched it in, and it literally looked like a bowl of chocolate ice cream, even though the color on this is kind of pink, but that's not the DMC color that it was. And so we opted to, before we got any farther into this, to go back, and we chose a different color for this. And so instead of having that pink, which is not pink in the DMC color, we went for a plum color. And so we swapped it out to that. So I still have to go back and pick out my berries here, my 5 brown berries, and change them into the purple color, but that's okay. Oh, and we also decided that we preferred to see these little things filled in. And we kind of went back and forth on that one because I kind of like the lacy openness of them, but then at the same time, some days they just look unfinished to me. And so we're filling those in. Apparently we can't do anything according to the plan. So that's where I am at, is right here. And I will put in a picture of where she's at right here. So that's a picture of where she's at. She and her husband are actually, they stopped by, so it was fun to see her for a day. They were on their way to Arizona for a family gathering, and so that's how I got a picture of hers. Not that she couldn't send me a picture, but you know, that she's here in person. In fact, if I remember when they come back through to head home, I will see if I can convince her to be a guest star on my little floss tube. So that's where I am with my berry bowl, and so she's ahead of me. What can I say? She stitches faster. I had startitis and my brain just jumped around all over, and so I didn't stitch in on anything consistently. But I am trying to be not so busy, not so starty. And so one of the other things that my WIPS board had this month was I got to do a new start. Excuse me. I got to do a new start. Another new start. And so I shut the book. I chose Teresa Kogut's Land That I Love, because I just think this is adorable. I love it, and I love red, white, and blue. Like, I love Independence Day and the colors that go with Independence Day, and so I'm very excited to get that done and up. And I think I might have already found a frame for it, which is huge, because that seems to be my biggest struggle, is finding a frame. So there is the pattern, And then here is my start. And I have a giant piece of this. I don't know what I got it for, but I have a lot of it. And so there's my start. So I've been working on the border. I'm going to try to get the first page done over April. I started it on 40 count mallow, so it's going to be a little bit smaller than the one that's in the picture. And so, yeah, I love it. And I love the colors. Like, I love the colors. And now that I'm thinking about it again, what was kind of funny is on the pattern, one of the colors is supposed to be 3760, which is this dark, well, it says 3760, but 3760 is like a very bright blue. And I just, like, it didn't look that way on the pattern, and I didn't like the way it looked on the fabric, and so I chose 3768 instead of 3760, because that coordinated better with this. And so that's where that is. So I'm moving along. I've got, whoops, I guess it actually goes this way. There. So I've got that corner done. So I'm hoping to have this corner done by the end of April, the first page, which I think goes over to like there. So it would be that part. That would be nice. So that's been fun. Then I have been stitching on I have all my little kitted up patterns sitting here. Because until I work on them, they go into a plastic bag and in a box to be organized so that I don't lose them. And so the other thing that I've been working on is my Sleeping Princess by Mirabilia, which I love because, you know, I'm the sleeping princess. Like we joke that I'm the princess in the pea, that I have to have 95 million pillows and blankets on my bed so that my body can be comfortable. I have fibromyalgia and some days it just doesn't feel very peachy. And so, yeah, so we like to pretend that that is me. So, yeah, I don't have 95 mattresses. I just have one mattress, but then I think I have 8 inches of squishy foam on top of it. And then, let's see, I need something to go behind that because it's very sheer. So here this is. And I have stitched on the top part of the bed, right up here. And I started beading it over here, like through here, because all the little random holes were making my brain crazy as I started putting on the beads, which may or may not be a mistake, but that's what I'm doing. Once I still need to go in here and bead the chandelier and put the back stitching on and bead here, and then I can start on the princess down here. So I am making progress. This is what I stitch on Friday nights. This is my Mirabilia. So that's been fun. And I love putting the beads on because I love sparkly and the beads are shimmery and colorful, and yeah, it's been really fun. I don't even know if you can see them. Can you see the beads on there? Oh, they're just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love them. I love them, and I want it done. Of course I want it all done. Like right now, this very second. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Some little piece of dirt from outside. And so those are my WIPS, the things that I've been working on. I started this other little pattern, which I don't remember. I think I got very far on it. Probably not even a big enough start to count as a start. I have a needle in it. Does that count? Yep. I literally put my needle in the center where I start, on the center of the pattern, because I'm going to start from the center on this one and work out, and that's Judge Knot by Plum Street Samplers, which I just thought was fun and apropos for the time that it's been this last year. Just everybody be nice and give everybody the benefit of the doubt that they're doing their best. So that really doesn't even count as a start. I don't think putting the needle in the fabric actually counts. And so the other things that I have been working on is I got, oh, do I have my phone? Sorry, I'll show you. So I went down a Mirabilia hole, which I tend to do anytime I look at patterns. I like go crazy and love them all on whatever designer that I am looking at. And I happened to see someone posted a picture of, oh my gosh, where did it go? Of sleeping, or not sleeping, of the Gypsy Queen. And the minute I saw it, I thought of my daughter, and I'll show you why. Let's see if I can get it too. So here's my daughter. This is some pictures. Oh, sorry for the window glare. So there's that. And then that one in particular. And then that. So she's a little bit of a bohemian. And those are some pictures that she took when she went to Thailand. So when I saw Gypsy Queen, like almost immediately I thought of these pictures that she had sent me a couple years ago. And so of course, Gypsy Queen had to come live at my house because it just makes me think of my little Miss Emmylou Who. And so after I get my Sleeping Princess done, I hope to work on the lovely and beautiful Gypsy Queen. And I got all the beads and the threads for it. Like, oh yeah, I just went nuts. That wasn't all that I got from Mirabilia that day, but I love her. The only thing I don't love her on is because I saw the picture that I saw posted, the person had done it on a piece of like multicolored background, and it was very, very pretty. And I'm not partial to brown, and so I would like to stitch her on a background that looks more like sky, you know, some like background. And so I've been kind of trying to decide if I want to go something. Yeah, so it's calls for milk chocolate, and I ordered a little piece of each so that I could see it. So here's the milk chocolate. It's got some sort of weird little fuzzy on it. And I'm not totally crazy about it, like I said. And so some of the other colors I got Country French Rain, which that's about the color that it is. It's kind of a blue. I also got Raspberry Chocolate, which is a little bit darker, but I'm afraid I won't see her hair if I do that. I got a piece of White Chocolate, since I guess I was doing all the chocolates, and I don't care. I think it's just going to wash it out. And then I got, this is a piece of Arctic Belfast, and that's kind of the direction I'm leaning. I was hoping that it would be a little more like tealy blue, but I can always touch it up, you know, with some dye. Because heaven forbid I leave anything just as is. It's just not quite as tealy green as I wanted, and so I'm thinking about that. Although I did see this one today. Oh, I also thought about this one, but I think it's too minty. Yeah, it's just way too minty, I think. So I'm leaning towards this. But I had to live with them all. But then when I was putting fabric away yesterday, I saw this one, which is Nocturne. So it's a little bit darker, but I love the color, and that reminds me of Night Sky, so maybe I'll go for that. So one of those two probably. I didn't like the browns. I could do this, but it would mean ordering another piece of fabric, and if I already have fabric, then why not use it? So those are the two that I've kind of set aside for, excuse me, for my Sleeping Princess. Or sorry, for my Gypsy Queen. I already have my Sleeping Princess fabric. That was white and I dyed it pink. You know, I just touched it with a titch of pink. And so that is one of my acquisitions this month, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately. I am very fortunate that I could acquire it. But I don't need any more stitching. But I have no self-control whatsoever, because the other thing that I got, were these, you know, because I was on the Mirabilia site. I wasn't even on Mirabilia. I think it was on 123 Stitch, actually, is where I ended up getting the Gypsy Queen from. Anyway, I got Bluebell. Apparently I have a thing for fairies. Anyway, I thought they'd be really fun on the wall. And they're not very big. They're only, like this one's 108 by 149. So isn't she cute? Cute, cute, cute. So we have Bluebell. Sorry, they're in their little bags. I kitted them all up because I had the floss, I had the pattern, and at some point I had bought 32 count linen, and some of it is opalescent, which is nice. See how sparkly it is? So I'm going to be using those. I'm going to whack it up and put it into the individual packaging. So I'm trying to get this one out. This one's a little bit bigger package. I also have Pansy. Apparently I'm going through a purple fairy stage. And then I have Wisteria. I'm just going to pull out the picture, it's easier. So there's Wisteria. She's gorgeous. I think I love her dress the best of all my little lavender girls. And then I veered off the lavender path and I got, maybe I didn't put her up here. Oh, sadness. There she is. I got the summery one, the little summer fairy. I got Marigold. She has a very fun dress with lots of little dangly fun beads along the edge. So yeah, I must have been nuts. Like I needed one more project. So those are my new patterns. And I don't think I got, no, I didn't get any other, oh, I did get one and I forgot to pull it, sorry. This is one of the new ones and I did have a start on it. The fabric is French lace, it's 40 count. I didn't have any of the called for threads. I think I only had 2 out of the, I don't know, dozen. And so I started Two Door Rose, the Two Door Rose by Blue Flower. Because I just, no, not Two Door Rose, what's it called? Maybe it is called Two Door Rose. No, Two Door B. Sorry. Oh my gosh, my brain it's tired. It's the end of the day. Anyway, so I got the border across the top and down the side done, and I started on the little corner flower. And so it's just my choice of whatever I had in overdyed flosses. And yeah, I'm just going with what I got. I'm trying to use some of what I got. And I keep saying I'm not going to buy anything else, but I see that's not working real well when it comes to, well, at least when it comes to Mirabilia this month. So I am working on that. And then that, oh, I know what else I was going to show you. Oh, and I didn't pull the picture. I bought it off of Etsy from one of the shops there, and it's called The Books. And I have all the threads, like I kitted up all my threads and I printed off the gigantic pattern because it's, I don't remember, like 27 pages long. It's fairly long, but it's the same one. I saw it on Handwork Maniac's channel. She is stitching it and she's got quite a bit of it done. But I loved it because I love books and it's so colorful and they look like little skinny houses on the shelf. And so I thought that would be a fun stitch. I got a lot of plans, a lot of stitching plans. So that's going to be fun. And I think that's everything stitchy, cross stitchy wise. Yeah, it's been a good month. Oops, sorry, keep leaning on the table. It's been a good month and things, you know, it's spring, which I love. It's in the 60s. It's my perfect weather. I dread the hot weather coming up. That's just not my favorite thing. I like it cool. I was kind of sad to see the cold weather go. It's been nice. And so the other fun thing that I had is I got a present in the mail from my mother, who sent me a package. This gigantic package, just to give you an idea. This gigantic package. And it wasn't from Amazon. She was reusing her envelope, but that's how big it was. And these are only some of them. But she happened to be at Hobby Lobby one day. My brother had driven her over there, and Hobby Lobby had all of their trim was like clearanced at half price. And so she sent me that giant envelope full of trim. Rickrack, teeny rickrack, little balls, little fringy things. Yeah, in every color that they had left. Like she bought one for her and one for me. So I had a huge bag of, yeah, that isn't even all of it. Like here's more. Yeah, I have a ton of rickrack now. Rickrack and little pom-poms and all that little funness. So that was really fun to get in the mail because I did not expect it at all. At all. It was very nice. So other than that, the only other things I've been doing is gardening. I started peppers and tomatoes last month and they're doing well, and some flowers. and they're downstairs on my little trays and my heat mats and under the lights so they can grow. And then the only other thing that I was going to tell you was I was going to show you something funny from when I brought my mom out. I guess it would be a year and a half ago. And so a year and a half ago when I brought my mom out, when she was going through her stuff and getting rid of it when we moved her to my brother's house, she was like, "What? I don't know what to do with all this wool." And it's like, I should just throw it away. And it's like, "Mom, don't throw your wool away. Don't throw your wool away. You know I love wool appliqué, and so does she. She likes the wool appliqué." And she's like, "Well, there's just so much of it." And it's just like, "No, like, we'll just bring it out when I come get you." And so when I went to get my mom, I rented a full-size pickup and I drove out to Minnesota and packed up her stuff and brought it back. And let me tell you, my mom was not kidding when she said she had a little bit of wool. She had a lot of bit of wool. She had a lot of bit of wool. And so I'm going to put a picture in here. No, I'll put it in just a second. Anyway, so we piled it all in and just put a tarp over everything and tied it down and then drove back. And it was an adventure. It was an adventure. At some point, like, the rope came loose because apparently I'm not very good at tying knots. And so there I was on the side of the freeway with the semis flying by in my skirt and I don't think I was wearing flip-flops. I think I had sandals on. But crawling around on top and standing on top of this pickup trying to get the tarp tucked back down inside and tied down, and I'm sure it was a spectacle to behold. But we got it here, yes, now I will put a picture in of the wool in all its glory, because when we got it here and, like, you know, when I put it in a big pile, it's just like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of wool. More wool than I can use in my lifetime. Because, you know, when you wool applique, you use little teeny tiny pieces generally. And so I got wool. And so if you have any good ideas on what to do with a lot of wool, it's some of it's purchased, you know, like the felted wool. Some of it's wool from the Woolly Lady, which their wool is gorgeous. And a lot of it is wool that she recycled over the years, you know, sweaters and coats and different things that she felted down. And I mean, we have wool, like 18 boxes. I mean, wool, a lot of wool. Probably more than 18 boxes. Anyway, see the picture here. Yeah, so what do you think of that pile of wool? That's a lot of wool. And it has taken up a lot of room. And as much as I love the wool, I just don't know that we can keep all of it. But on that topic, I have been doing a little bit of wool applique. My mom and I started these little patterns by Bonnie Sullivan. Sorry, I'm trying to get it out. Everything's in crinkly bags today. And so we started these little wool samplers. And so this is the one for May. And I think he's adorable. I love the bird, I love the flowers. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the little quilty flannelly edge. I do have the flannel for it, and so I could, but I'm going to make mine up into a pillow to go on my couch, you know, with all my other 5 million couches. And so I got April's done. Isn't she cute? Yeah. So this was part of a jacket. This is part of a man's suit. This was, I don't remember what this is. Anyway, it was fun. It was fun. You know, it was fun to do different stitches other than just making little X's. And so that's April, which I hope to get made into a pillowcase for the pillow that goes on my couch. And then here's where May is. And so I still need to put in her eye and her feet, and I think that's about it. And then, you know, also make it into a pillow. And so that was my little foray back into wool. I haven't done wool in this last year. Oh, I have to do the little bee. That's what that little thing is up here. It's going to be adorable little bee like that. So I'm excited to get those done. would be nice to have them up and able to be enjoyed. So that's everything that I'm up to. I've been catching up a little bit on FlossTube, not as much as I would like to. Like I said, I spend a lot of time outside, but I enjoy seeing everybody's projects and what they're up to and listening to a little bit about their lives. I watched Cricklewood Creek. I had missed a couple of hers, and so I watched a couple of hers, and she was working on the Women of the Mayflower. And I found that she and I are distantly related because she and I both have the same relative that came over on the Mayflower. So that was kind of fun. And I just enjoy catching up with everybody, but it was fun to see her like, oh, we have a little bit of a connection. Like, that was so cute. And so I've just enjoyed seeing everybody. I started watching Pam and Steph, which I hadn't done to date, and I've watched them for the last couple weeks, which has been fun. They're pretty entertaining, and I can't even think of who else. Mama Loves You GB. She's always delightful. A lot of people that I hadn't seen, and a couple that were in, I would assume, Russian or Ukrainian. Yeah, some language I don't speak, but their stitching was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So even though I couldn't understand a word that they said, it was very fun to watch and see what they were working on. So I hope that you are all getting in a lot of stitch time and that you have had a good month and a whatever it's been. I'm thankful that my computer is back up and running and I'm not having any problems with that. And I'm thankful that our neighborhood is quiet today, so you don't have to listen to the bass booming from across the street, which doesn't happen very often. It just happened to happen. It just happened to be going on the day that I had videotaped before. And so I appreciate you stopping by. If you have, like I said, if you have comments to make or any suggestions on what to do with a mountain of wool, I'm open for it. I'm going to go ahead and put in some pictures of my mom's stitching that she's been doing. She's been working on a lot of smalls and got them done, and they are very, very cute. She's working on Halloween ornaments for my sister, and she made a cute, adorable stitchy pillow for one of her friends, and I love the pattern on it. And she's also started stitching on hands-on design. You Had Me at Flamingo, which I will put pictures in, and that's what she's up to. She's doing good. I'm anxious to have her back here. We have a lot of fun giggling together, and yeah, it's nice to have a stitching partner. So thanks for coming by and chatting with me and listening to me chatter, and I hope to see you in a couple of weeks. And cross your fingers that it's not very much longer than that, because I don't like to go that long in between. It makes it nicer if it's a little bit closer. So have a good day, and happy stitching. Bye bye.